Inside Huntsville with Brenda Martin, a conversation with department heads at City Hall on streets, ball fields, public safety, and more. And also with our community partners that add economic security, support education, and enhance the city's quality of life.
Hello, I'm Brenda Martin and welcome to Inside Huntsville. The purpose of our show is to give you, our viewing audience, an opportunity to learn more about the services available through the city departments and community partners. Spring has sprung, as the saying goes, and mosquitoes are breeding. Cheryl Clay is the public health senior environmentalist with Vector Control. Welcome, Cheryl, and thanks so much for coming and getting this information out to our public. We've got lots to talk about today, so let's share your information first with the public. Your telephone number and your website.
Our telephone number is 256-532-1915, and our web address is www.huntsvilleal.gov/vector-control, no space.
No space,
No
okay.
space.
All right, thank you so much for that. Cheryl, first of all, what services does Vector Control offer?
We provide two main services to the city of Huntsville: rat control, and most of our job is spent on mosquito control.
And how can our citizens protect themselves from mosquitoes?
Well, the best thing that the citizens can do to protect themselves from mosquitoes is to survey their yard and make sure that they do not have any stagnant water. It takes very little water to breed mosquitoes. As little as a teaspoon can cause a problem. We actually brought in a sample of immature mosquitoes today. You can see just very little water. This can breed thousands of mosquitoes over a summer if it doesn't dry out.
Just that little bit of water.
Just that little bit of water. So it may not be that big swimming pool that you're not operating or things like that are causing the problem. It might be just a little bit of water. Things to look out for are the children's toys that collect water, of course, tires, buckets, things like that. Need to clean out gutters if you haven't done that yet. You need to scrub out your bird bath twice a week to remove any eggs. Another thing that a lot of people do not think about is the dishes underneath their flower pots. You can have a perfectly clean yard, but if you forget about that little basin that catches water, you can breed hundreds of mosquitoes in one little tray. So we suggest either just not use those during the summer, or if you do, treat it like your bird bath. Dump it out the water at least twice a week and scrub it out to remove any eggs. Aside from making sure that you don't have any stagnant water in your yard, you also want to wear proper clothing when you're going to be outside and you know the mosquitoes are active. We suggest long sleeve shirt and pants, light colored, because mosquitoes are attracted to darker colors. You also want to try to wear a tightly woven fabric, make it harder for the mosquitoes to bite through the clothing. And then we also recommend that you wear a CDC approved insect repellent. 20% DEET is great because that'll protect you from mosquitoes and ticks. There's oil of lemon eucalyptus, and there's a few others you can check on our website to see what might work for you.
Okay, so you do have these various kinds listed on your website.
Yes, we sure do.
That's important.
Yes,
because,
very important.
Yeah, we don't know. One of the other things I wanted, what about storm shelters?
Yes, if you do have a storm shelter, you do want to check it to make sure that it's not holding any water over the winter. Those can also be problems. Other things to think about, the children wading pools. Do you have a fountain in your yard? Is it operating? Because as long as the water is moving, it won't be a problem. But anything that you can think of that might have even a small amount of water in it. We've even seen mosquitoes breeding in bottle caps.
Oh, no kidding.
Fallen magnolia leaves, if it's in the shade. If it can have water for up to a week, you can go from egg to adult in a short amount of time in the height of summer.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, now, how long does the mosquito season last?
Well, in northern Alabama, we're lucky we don't go year-round.
Okay.
So what drives the mosquitoes is temperature. So we start to see mosquitoes breeding typically in March, sometime as early as February, and usually that's going to be your swamp water mosquitoes. And then they usually go dormant about mid-October. When your nighttime temperature drops down into the lower 50s and stays there, they usually will become dormant for the winter.
And I might mention too that you don't provide vector services to the county.
That's correct. We are solely funded by the city of Huntsville, so we provide services to the city that are actually located in Madison County, because we are the Madison County Health Department. So anybody who lives in the county, contact your county commissioner. They handle mosquito control in their areas. Madison City has their own program.
Okay, great. West Nile is one of the diseases that is caused by mosquitoes, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
But I've heard about another type of...
Yes. West Nile is here and present in our environment, and we are aware of that. But the one that we're looking for and concerned about is the chikungunya virus.
Chikungunya.
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 It's not caused by chickens.
Well, give us some updates on that.
Well, it's been around for a long time, originated in Africa, but it is biting travelers. And travelers are bringing it to new areas of the world. Unlike West Nile, where the reservoir is a bird has to be involved in there somewhere. Chikungunya, it's from person to mosquito and vice versa. So it can spread much more easily. So it has been detected in the Caribbean in 2013, and they actually had some locally transmitted cases in Florida this past year. The only cases we've had so far in Alabama have been from infected travelers, not locally transmitted, meaning it's already in the local population of mosquitoes. But it can happen because the Asian tiger mosquito can carry that disease, and we do have that mosquito in our area. And they like to breed in all that stuff around your house. Not the swamp, but right outside your back door in your flower pot. So that's why you have to be very vigilant about not having stagnant water around your home, because we're trying to prevent it from getting in the population. And the thing with chikungunya is it's rarely ever fatal, but most people who get by an infected mosquito are likely to have symptoms.
Such as?
The main symptoms are fever and extreme joint pain, similar to what you would have with dengue fever. And there's no cure. They just have to treat the symptoms, and it can take several months to recover. So the best way to protect yourself from this disease is dumping out the water, wearing your repellent, proper clothing, everything you can do to protect yourself from getting a mosquito bite.
What about people that have swimming pools and don't cover them and not using them also?
That's always a concern, and we're always happy to check those if anybody has a concern. If a swimming pool is not operated for an extended period of time, it actually turns into like a pond environment. You'll have the frogs come in and the dragonflies, and actually that can be a good thing because you have natural mosquito control. So rarely do we ever even find a problem in those swimming pools. But if someone is not going to operate it this year, we do suggest you cover it or drain it, or you can purchase mosquito larvicide at your local hardware store to treat it once a month, and the immature mosquitoes will eat that and they'll die before they emerge as the adults. So that's another way that you can treat the larger bodies of water. But typically swimming pools are usually in direct sun, and the mosquitoes, that's not their favorite environment. They like that little tiny bit of water that you have somewhere around your house that you're really not thinking about. They really are shade lovers.
Are they? Okay.
Yes.
Not a lot of sun.
They will do it if they have to, but that's not their preferred environment.
Okay. One of the many services that Vector Control provides is that of fogging.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about that. How often is fogging done?
Okay.
What is fogging?
Yes. Well, we typically start the fogging program in mid-May or June. The reason is the goal of vector control. We're not able to get rid of every mosquito out there. That's just not possible.
That's right.
But we want to keep the population in check to prevent any disease outbreak. That's what we try to do. So usually disease is not an issue till later in the summer. Your main times for disease are usually August and September. So we'll get started once we survey the city, mid-May or June, and we will come around, we do it based on our surveillance, but it usually averages out about twice a month. The mosquito truck drives down your street about 10 miles an hour, and the fog comes out of the truck, and ideally goes about 150 feet on each side of the truck.
Okay.
And it will kill any mosquito it comes in contact with, and the product we use has no residual, so after a few hours there's nothing left in the air, and should not be any concern.
So if I'm outside, and I have been
Yes.
outside, when the truck comes, there's no fear.
Well,
I mean, you don't want to
right.
stand near the truck, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
should I run in the house or?
Well, you have to do what you feel is better for you, but these products are tested for about 10 years before they ever go to the market. They're extensively tested by the EPA, and we're not putting out pure product. We use what is called ultra low volume. So what you see coming out of that truck is more like a fog. The actual product, you're looking at less than a quarter cup for those who bake, less than a quarter cup for a whole acre. That's a very little amount.
Sure.
And of that less than a quarter cup, only about 1/8 of that is actually chemical that kills the mosquitoes. Very, very small amount. So it's not that much. You're spraying more bug spray in your house or putting flea treatment on your dog that you're ever exposed to if you're out when the mosquito truck comes around.
Now, over the years, I've heard people say, my neighborhood has never been fogged.
We do hear that often.
Oh, do-
Now, we work very closely with the Huntsville GIS department. They have been such a true asset to us.
Great.
All of our maps are digitized, so we are aware when there's any new areas. And what we do is on our website, you can go in and you can put in your address, and I update it every day, and it'll tell you the last time your street was fogged and how many times it was fogged over the season. If you really want some more in-depth information, I can send you the Google Earth shot where the truck went by your house and tell you exactly,
no kidding.
exactly what time if you really want to know. So we have that kind of tracking equipment. I know where the trucks are, how fast they're going, everything that they're doing we have on record.
And how many trucks do you have out doing this?
This year we're going to have 4 trucks out on the road.
Cheryl, how long have you been in this environment, if you will?
Well, I've been with the Alabama Department of Public Health almost 10 years. I was a food inspector for 6.5 years before I transferred to vector control, so that I'm getting ready to enter my 4th mosquito season.
Okay, so you've seen a lot.
I have. I've learned a lot, but it's fun. I like it, and it's very important to try to educate the public on how they can protect themselves. That'll be so much better for them, than the fog truck coming through, because that's just a momentary solution.
Sure. And so we were able to show what you brought?
Yes, like I said, this is immature mosquitoes. They lay their eggs in or near water, and then they'll hatch into the larva, which looks like the little wiggly worm that you see, and you have 4 stages of those. And then the next stage is the pupa, which we have more in here. They look like little tumblers. They shoot around really fast in the water, and they'll be in that stage for a couple of days until they emerge as the adult, and that's what these are. We hatch these out in our office, and we have 2 females and a male in here, and they're ready to get out of the vial.
And we want to keep them in there.
Yes, we definitely do, but the reason we do this is how we do our surveillance, where we know the highest concentration of mosquitoes are, and it's also very important to know what type of mosquito you have. That way you know what disease potential you have in that mosquito. Thankfully, this species of mosquito is an early spring swamp water, and they're not known to carry any human pathogens, so the worst thing with this is just a bite.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this information. But Cheryl, you've been working on a project with the Center for Diseases and Public Health Information, and we are one of 15 control programs that in the country.
Yes.
That's participating in this. So why
Yes.
don't you tell us more about this?
Sure. We were very lucky to be one of the programs selected. Like I said, we're the only one of 15 programs in the United States working with the Center for Disease Control and Public Health Foundation. The purpose is they come in and they help us assess our program using the 10 environmental public health essential tools, and we use that to look at our program and see where we have room for improvement. We are a very small program, so we felt very strongly in education. We have our website, we do news media interviews, but we just feel like we're not reaching everybody.
Okay.
We want to work harder on educating them on, how to prevent breeding environments in their yard. So we're looking for partners that are willing to work with us, maybe let us come speak at a meeting or come to an event to give out information.
Neighborhood associations.
Yes, we actually had one that just came on board that we gave them 250 brochures and door hangers, and they're going to go on a volunteer basis of part of what they do for their community and hang them on everyone's door. And we would not have time to be able to do that in our office.
You don't have the staff to do that.
We don't, unfortunately, but that's the best way, to educate folks. So if there's more neighborhood associations out there who want to contact us, we would like to build a coalition of folks to help us get the word out every year, and we can give you the information if you want to distribute it. And again, we'd be more than happy to come talk to people one-on-one, bring some things that they can look at.
Yes.
Because we feel that'll be the best way that we can deal with the mosquito problems we have, particularly relating to the Asian tiger mosquito and chikungunya virus.
Also, I was just thinking as you were talking, community watch organizations.
Yes.
Have you thought about contacting them?
Well, one has contacted us about that, but what I'm doing right now is trying to figure out who they are and where they are, and trying to build, a database of that.
Sure.
So if anyone is out there and wants to help or has this information, we have a few, but it's just I need to be connected with those folks.
With them, yes.
And then that way we can start all working together regularly, and that would be great for our program and for the city.
Sure. Is there anything else that we need to know in this season of mosquitoes? I know last year we had you on in July, and of course I know you were able to help a lot of people during that time. But we started early this year.
Yes.
In the breeding.
Yes. Right, breeding time.
Breeding time.
Again, take the weekend. This is a lot of rain this time of year.
Yes,
That's why you need to get out there and keep your water dumped out. And if you're having a mosquito problem right now, we would be happy to come do a courtesy yard inspection. You can make an appointment with us, and we're a little bit more with free time until we do start fogging, and we can come and take a look at your yard and see if we can figure out where they're coming from, because that is a permanent solution, as opposed to the fog truck, which is just, takes care of things that night. But if you have breeding going on in your yard, you could have some new mosquitoes the next day.
That is excellent. That's a great service. I'm going to be the first one to call.
We would be more than happy to.
Well, you know what? As you were talking, one of the things that I've got a bird bath sitting right in front of in my front yard. I've never thought about scrubbing that out.
Oh, yes. We do need to pay you. Well, the bird baths, a lot of times they're in direct sun, so they're not appealing to the mosquitoes.
Okay.
I usually find the problems in the shade, but I can't tell you if it's in the sun, it's okay. You want to know what to look for, so that's why, we have on our website a picture of what the larvae looks like. But, you can scrub it out twice a week, add fresh water. Sometimes you have those really heavy concrete ones, you can't really dump out the water very easily. Just keeping adding water is not going to help. So you can go to your local hardware store and purchase they're called mosquito dunks. They look like little gray donuts. And you can put those in your bird bath once a month, and that should help take care of mosquito problems if you're not able to dump it out. But we always suggest, dumping out the water and scrubbing it out if you can.
Yes, I can't tell you how many years it's been sitting out there. I mean, I keep fresh water in it.
Right, a lot of people just keep adding water, which is not going to remove the eggs. And the thing to look out too, if you get a lot of leaf matter in there, you're going to create shade, and the mosquitoes are going to find that appealing, because that's what the larvae eat, is like the broken down plant matter.
Oh, goodness,
so anything with a lot of leaves, and I've even seen recycle bins so clogged with leaves they were holding water, breeding thousands of mosquitoes. Even though they have the drain holes, if you let all your leaves fall in there, you're going to clog it up, and that was causing a problem for a whole neighborhood.
Oh my goodness.
So it doesn't take that much, and when we try to find the source, it's like a big scavenger hunt sometimes. One other thing I did want to mention, I didn't mention before, especially in areas that have mature trees, tree holes will breed lots of mosquitoes. So if you have mature trees that have tree holes, if you can, you want to put, soil or sand in there, or even, concrete if you want, but you don't want that to hold water, because that's something that, you can't dump out, obviously.
Sure.
And that can breed a lot of mosquitoes. So if you're, there's a lot of areas of Huntsville that has a lot of mature trees. So
yes,
that's something to
yes.
think about if that's something you're willing to do.
Okay. As always, you've got so much great information for us, and we really appreciate you coming on. My producer is telling me that our time is come to an end, but listen, I want to thank you for your leadership in this,
thank you.
Very, very important
We appreciate your help in getting the word out.
And come back next time.
Definitely.
Okay. Okay, that's our show for today. Join us again as we explore in depth inside Huntsville. I'm Brenda Martin. Enjoy your day.